At 2:17 a.m., a notification lights up a phone on a nightstand. Not a text, not an emergency, a credit alert. Nothing dramatic happened. No shopping spree, no missed rent. Just a number quietly dropped by 11 points. And that small, boring change will cost this person tens of thousands of dollars over their lifetime. That is the uncomfortable truth most people never hear. Credit scores don't ruin you loudly. They do it politely, in the background, while you're doing everything you think is right. Right now, more people are working harder, earning more, and still feeling financially stuck. They blame inflation. They blame low wages. They blame bad luck. But there's another system running underneath all of that. A system that decides how expensive your life is allowed to be. And most people are making the same few mistakes inside it. Mistakes that don't feel like mistakes. Mistakes that feel responsible. This is not a lecture about paying your bills. This is a story about how the credit system actually behaves and how it quietly keeps people broke. Let's start with something simple. Two people walk into the same car dealership on the same day. Same car, same price, same down payment. One of them will pay tens of thousands more for that exact same vehicle. Not because they're reckless, not because they're irresponsible, but because of a number built from rules they were never clearly taught. That number doesn't measure wealth. It doesn't measure intelligence. It doesn't even measure whether you're good with money. It measures how predictable you are to lenders. And predictability is where most people accidentally fail. Here's the part that feels unfair. The credit system rewards patterns, not outcomes. It cares less about whether you paid something off and more about how you behaved while paying it. Which means you can do the right thing financially and still damage your score. That's the first mistake. Mistake one is believing that being debt-free automatically means being credit healthy. It sounds logical. Pay things off, close accounts, reduce risk. But the system doesn't see it that way. When you close a credit card, you think you're cleaning up. The system sees something else. It sees your available credit shrink. It sees your credit utilization jump. And it sees your active history get shorter over time. You didn't borrow more, you didn't spend more, but the math shifted against you. Imagine your score as a story, not a grade. Length matters. Continuity matters. Gaps look suspicious. Someone with one old card they barely use can look safer than someone with no cards at all, which is absurd, but it's how the story is read. Mistake two is paying everything early without understanding timing. People love the idea of zero balances. It feels clean. It feels responsible. But credit scoring doesn't reward zero. It rewards controlled usage. When a lender reports your balance, it captures a snapshot in time, not your intention, not your payment history for the month, just the moment. If that snapshot always shows zero, the system struggles to measure behavior. No usage means no signal. Ironically, a small balance paid consistently can look healthier than perfect zeros. Not because you owe money, but because the system can observe you using credit and not abusing it. That's mistake three. Confusing activity with risk. The system is designed around probabilities. It wants evidence. Silence is not evidence. Then there's the most common trap. Mistake four is treating minimum payments as harmless.
Minimum payments are framed as flexibility, as relief. In reality, they're a behavioral test. Consistently paying the minimum doesn't just extend debt, it signals financial stress. The score doesn't know why you paid the minimum, it just sees the pattern. Long balances, slow reduction, extended exposure. Even if you never miss a payment, the system quietly adjusts your expectations of you. Now, let's talk about the mistake that surprises almost everyone. Checking your credit too often isn't the issue. Applying is. Hard inquiries stack, not because each one is catastrophic, but because timing matters. Multiple applications in a short window don't look like shopping around, they look like urgency. And urgency is risk. You might be trying to save money, the system thinks you're scrambling. Here's where the irony deepens. People with money rarely need credit urgently. People without it often do. So the system punishes the exact moment when credit would help the most. That leads to mistake 6, using credit to smooth emergencies without a buffer. Unexpected expenses turn into high utilization. High utilization turns into score drops. Score drops turn into higher interest. The emergency doesn't end when the bill is paid. It lingers in the math. And then there's the long-term mistake no one warns you about: being invisible. No loans, no cards, no history. From the outside, that looks disciplined. Inside the system, it looks unknown. Unknown is expensive. The system can't reward what it can't predict. Now, zoom out. This isn't just about interest rates, it's about access. Your credit score influences insurance pricing, rental approvals, job background checks, utility deposits. It shapes where you're allowed to live and how much margin you get to breathe, all without a single conversation. And here's the uncomfortable math. A small difference in interest compounds quietly. 1 extra percentage point on a mortgage doesn't feel dramatic until you stretch it across 30 years, until you realized you paid for the same house twice. That's how credit keeps people broke. Not by denying them everything, but by charging them more for the same life. Now, contrast the hype with reality. You're told credit is about responsibility, about discipline, about doing the right thing. In reality, it's about consistency within narrow rules. It's not moral, it's mechanical. And once you see that, the frustration shifts. The system isn't judging you, it's categorizing you. Which leads to the final mistake: believing your score is a reflection of you. It's not. It's a snapshot of how you interact with a specific system at specific times. Change the interaction, the outcome changes. But most people never question the system itself. They just blame themselves. So here's the unresolved question to leave you with. If a number designed to measure lender risk quietly decides how expensive your life becomes, and most people are never taught how that number actually works, is the problem individual behavior or a system that depends on misunderstanding to function? That question doesn't have a clean answer, and the system isn't changing anytime soon, which means understanding it is no longer optional.
This content is for educational purposes only and does not constitute financial, legal, or investment advice. Always consider your personal situation and consult a qualified professional before making financial decisions.